Hello friends, if you're new, welcome to my channel. How about going down there and tapping the subscribe button and ringing the bell so you don't miss any episodes. For my fans and subscribers, welcome back. I really do appreciate you. Today's topic is the emergence of Israel, archaeology, and ethnicity. Not much else I need to say. Let's get on with the video. Faust suggests that ethnicity is best defined and refined by one group's interactions with other groups. Barth aptly puts it in the words self-ascription and ascription by others. This implies that there are material correlates of behavior. This being said, it is only in the monarchy and Iron II that we can identify an ethnic Israel. Until 1969, the main question had to do with ethnic markers or cultural traits. In that year, noted ethnographer Friedrich Barth edited a publication in which he rejected the idea of ethnic traits as somehow monolithic and instead presented these as fluid and dynamic. Ethnicity is not a simple subject. For example, it cannot be defined by genetic traits alone. Culture, or assigned meanings, has as much bearing on ethnicity, and these change over time. Nevertheless, ethnicity can be recognized in the material culture our forebears left behind. Ethnographer Friedrich Barth defined ethnic group as a people who are largely biologically self-perpetuating, share a recognizable, relatively uniform set of values, including language, that are seen in cultural forms, have a membership that defines itself as well as being defined by others, and perpetuates self-identity by developing rules to maintain ethnic boundaries and participating in inter-ethnic social encounters. Some ethnic traits are genetic, others are cultural, and a few are both. Traits such as skin color and body type are genetic, whereas other aspects like language are cultural. Therefore, some aspects of ethnicity can be changed, especially in our global economy. Yet in the ancient world, this was not possible. Ethnic boundaries are partially flexible, but it takes time through gradual acculturation. It reflects thoughts and behaviors. Deaver modified Barth's definition of ethnicity to make it easier to distinguish a distinctly Israelite culture. Deaver suggested the term Proto Israelite for Iron I because even though there is continuity from Iron I through the monarchy, these early progenitors did not form a nation state. To make this idea even clearer, we have the Merneptah Stela referring to Israelite peoples. I can't remember which episode in the series this is in, but the hieroglyphics of Egyptians in that time had signs for nations and peoples. In the Merneptah Stela, when it is referring to the Israelites, the sign used is for peoples, not nation. Although Steger voices doubts that we can deduce Iron I ethnicity from material culture alone, cultural characteristics such as language, settlement type, concepts of communal life, as well as cult, will leave traces in the archaeological record. Pierre Bourdieu created the concept of Habitus, the idea that human practices cannot be deduced by simply considering the social conditions. Objective structures that define such conditions must be taken into account. That is, Habitus provides context. While we find discontinuity in the Bronze Age, Iron 1 and 2, a span of more than 600 years, shows strong cultural continuity as seen in the courtyard house, the pottery, and the domestic mode of production. Even though we have scant evidence for cult in Iron 1, it is reminiscent of what we see in Canaanite religion, such as veneration of El and other deities, sacrificing, and ritual feasting. The Yahweh alone movement did not prevail until the exile. Among other ethnicity markers that anthropologists recognize are food and mortuary customs. In way of food, the most significant aspect of Israelite villages is lack of pig bones, especially since they are found in abundance at Philistine sites. This could be due to regional differences or other factors, but it could also indicate the antiquity of some of the laws of the nation of Israel against pork that we see in the Hebrew Bible. More recent data show that another interpretation of this evidence may be needed, however. Pig bones, as it turns out, are rare in any Iron 1 settlement, whether Philistine or Israelite. We also find pig bones in Israelite sites during Iron 2, at least in the north. Thus, it is possible the Deuteronomistic ban on pork is an Orthodox practice that developed in the 8th to 7th centuries. Although we don't know why, we have few burials from Iron 1. All we can say is that most people were probably buried in pit graves with little to no fanfare, which would not leave any traces. In Iron 2, we find Israelite burials that do give us distinctive cultural traits. I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, but there may be people out there who don't know what a pit grave is. It's basically a circular grave where the person is buried in a flexed position, and this would not leave any evidence. It wasn't just practiced in Israel. Most Middle East cultures practiced it. Since it is a bit difficult to assign ethnicity on the basis of material culture alone, we do have texts referring to the Israelites. Note, sometimes you will see Merneptah spelled as Merneptah. Both refer to the same person. The Merneptah inscription mentions Israelites by name and is devoid of later theological biases. You may remember that in an earlier episode, I said that this is the first mention of the Israelites. And this refers to a people, not a nation state. There is no consensus on settlement sites among early Israelites, except to say that these settlements are overwhelmingly non-urban. Settlements north and south of Jerusalem are much more alike, and we can see distinct Israelite traits. Dating these sites is a bit tricky due to lack of definitive evidence. Therefore, we must obtain absolute chronology from a few 19th dynasty Egyptian seals. There are also a few C14 dates from the Late Bronze to Early Iron I, but these do not allow us to be any more precise than the Egyptian seals. According to C14 dates, Tel Abu el-Kharaz may have ended circa 1200 to 1150. A few scholars have suggested that earthquakes were responsible for the destruction of this and other sites. The dates in the 12th to 11th centuries were obtained at sites that are unlikely to be Israelite. On the other hand, the dates are too late for the Merneptah inscription that is closely dated to 1208 and mentions an Israel that was established well enough to be perceived as a threat by the Egyptians. Well, friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, press the subscribe button, and if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. My Twitter, Discord, email, and PayPal links are in the description, along with the source that I used for this episode. Keep learning and searching for truth. Here are a few videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Until next time, friends, goodbye and stay safe.